Welcome guys. Today we'll see some annotations. Okay, these are the some basic annotations. We will see how to create the annotations. Okay, like lazy scope at the rate lazy and at the rate scope annotation, and there are some stereotype annotations as well. Maybe we can discuss this in detail later part, but the main annotations here are component, controller, rest controller, and service. These are the some stereotype annotations. Okay, fine. As we will start this project from the starting onwards, how to create the Maven project and how to add the dependencies and all. Okay, go to the new and go to other, and here if you see Maven, right, Maven project, and click on the next. Here select the next, and the categories, all categories you need to select, and you need to type the Maven hyphen archetype colon quick start. Even if you give partially also, it will give the proper name. Okay, if you see here retrieving the archetypes, it will take some time. Just it will load and it will give the version of archetype whichever we want. We can choose it. Okay, so if it is taking time, then I'll stop this for time being. Yeah, and in the previous sessions we are get to know the annotations, right? These annotations in Spring enable means the retention policy is at runtime. So even though if we apply the annotations at the class level, right, those whatever the Pojo behavior, we won't lose the Pojo behavior. So we can apply our annotations at the Spring components. Okay, still it is loading, and here there is another annotation also present. Yeah, at the rate rest controller and at the rate repository also there. I think it is the bottom. Okay, at the rate repository. These are comes under stereotyped annotations. Stereotyped means their main intent is same, but based on the place where we are placing the annotations, it will represent that particular layer importance. Okay, all these treated as a like component beans only, we can declare as beans. Suppose if we take any MVC specific project, right, in that project normally what we are having, we are having the controller and the service layer and the DAO layer, right? So at controller layer we will apply the at the rate controller annotation, and at service layer we can go with the at the rate service, and at the DAO level we can go with the at the rate repository. And the controller and the rest controller, this act the mainly we can see at the Spring Boot, and the component is nothing but on top of any class we can apply. Still it is searching the artifact, searching the artifacts. Okay, these are the few of the things we will get to know. Okay, and the lazy scope annotations. Yeah, okay, now we got the list of quick start archetypes. Okay, here we need to go and select the Maven specific archetype. Okay, it will add the repository URL and all, and click on next. Here you need to select the group ID and the artifact ID. Artifact ID means we need to give the name. Annotation 6, assume annotation 6, it will come, and the group ID like com dot stereotype. Stereotype stereotype annotations. Okay, this is not required. Package and click on the finish. Now annotation 6 is created and this is my src. Okay, this is the Maven folder structure, and go to the POM. Here you need to specify the Java compiler. Okay, Maven for this compilation, go for the 11, and we no need any JUnit specific things. Just go to the Google and create the Spring dependencies. Okay, Spring core and the context we need. So here Spring 5.3.14 or 15, we can choose any one. Okay, let's go to 15, and if you see here, right, we can able to see the dependencies here. Copy this one and paste here. Sorry, we need core and the context, right? So Spring core and context. Spring core Maven. Yeah, this one, and we need the context as well. Select this one and paste here, and we need Spring context as well. Context dependency. Spring 5.3.14 context dependency. Yes, we need this one. Sorry, Maven dependency. Yeah, here if you see, the context will be, if you are not getting directly, then you need to search in the Maven repository like Spring context, then open this context specific dependencies. This is the dependency entry, Spring context, and I'll paste this into the pom.xml. Now I completed adding the dependencies, and just update this one to Maven update project. Now the folders, everything will be reorganized in the in Maven specific things, and here whatever annotations, sorry, this one, annotation 6, this is the one we created. Okay, and we don't need any test right now, so let me delete these things. And in the src we are having the default package name, and here let me create one simple car. Okay, new class car class. Okay, here my car class contains simple constructor. Alt Shift S. Constructor means O. Alt Shift S. Constructor. This is out. Car class constructor and public void drive. This drive method simply I'll give this is out. Okay, yeah, this is simple car class. Okay, now what we need to do, we need to create the application hyphen context dot xml. Okay, for that what you need to coming to main, and here you need to provide the folder creation, because we are placing the application hyphen context dot xml in the resource directory. Okay, so go here and create the resources and finish it. Now here you need to create the Spring configuration file. Okay, go to Spring and here Spring Bean configuration. Okay, before navigating to here, let's go to the resource and create one more package. Yes, com dot stereotype dot com. This is the package I created. No, but it should present the resource directory, right? Let me come here and Maven update. New package. Yeah. So we need to create the package under resource. Okay. Okay, it is created here. Let me delete here. And here, let me add the Spring Bean configuration file. If we are not seeing here, just navigate to here, Spring Bean configuration. Next, here we need to provide context.xml. Next, so I need the context. I need to enable the context, so I'm enabling this, access this. Okay, and click on next, finish. Yes, now my context thing, I can enable the context colon component scan. See, for enabling normally annotations, what we are using, we will use the context colon annotation config. But here the Spring is modularized. Okay, so to enable the stereotype annotations, we need to use the component hyphen scan base package we need to provide. Okay, like how means, sorry, context. If you see the annotation config, right, these are the different modules present. Okay, the context annotation means these are the normal annotations. What are means activities, various annotations to be declared, like at the rate required, auto void, and the resources, post construct, pre destroy. These are the multiple annotations support under annotation hyphen config. And the component scan, if you see the component scan, right, scans the class path for annotated components that will be auto registered as Spring Beans. By default, Spring provided component, repository, service, controller, REST controller, and controller advice configuration stereotypes will be detected. These are the annotations detected by the component scan. And we are having another context like load time where. This load time where, to enable load time where, we need to apply this context. And if we need mbean export, we need to enable this one, mbean server for this one. These are the different context. Okay, property override and property placeholder and Spring configured. These are the different types of context. Okay, it is modularized. So in our case we are going with the stereotype, right? So we need to select the component scan. So here we need to provide the base package. In our case the base package will be com dot annotation. Okay, we need to provide the base package name. Okay, com dot stereotype dot annotations. Yeah, now what we need to do, we need to provide the at the rate component. Okay, at the rate component annotation. If you see, this is coming from the stereotype package. Okay, and if you open the Spring configuration, right, if you see the retention will be runtime and target will be element type. Okay, the default will be empty, that is fine. And now my car bean is ready. My car bean is ready. Now let me create the one test. For this all test, let me create a package here as well. So com dot type dot tests. In this test package, let me write the one car test. Okay, car or stereotype test, anything is fine. Okay, let me go for public static void main. Here I will go with the application hyphen context. Application context, and if you type the control space bar, it will suggest the variable name itself. Okay, is equal to new. Let me go for one of the implementation, that is class path XML application context. Here I need to provide the my this application context.xml. Okay, So in my case it will be like double quote com dot stereotype slash commons slash stereotype hyphen context.xml. Now my IOC container is ready. Whatever the singleton classes, those objects will be created and make the container available. Okay, so if I need any object, context dot get bean of assume car. You see, if we are not giving any component name at the class level, then the class name with the first character as small letter. Car, yes, this is car dot class. Now I will get the car object. Car is equal to now car dot drive. Now we'll try to execute this one. Let me save the entire project. Run as Java application. Yeah, if you see, the constructor is calling and the car is driving. So here I am not provided the any bean at the configuration level. Through this component my bean is ready, and in my test class just I am asking the container give me the car object. Okay, and here the car, if we need we can provide the name as well. Like car1 assume. Then let me run this one once. Yeah, because car class constructor means, if you see here, before asking the container the car object, once the application container is created, at the creation that time itself whatever the singleton objects, those objects will be created. And here we are getting no being named car1 because we provided the name as car1. So here we need to make the car1 as the asking bean. And let me run this once. Run as Java application. Now my car is driving. Similarly, even I can go with the different annotations. Like I can go with @ controller. Suppose if I am not writing anything, assume. Okay, then I will try to ask the IOC container. Anyway, we won't get because there is no bean itself, isn't it? So I will go here and enable the @ controller. Now when I try to run this test class, run as Java application, now my car object is ready and my drive method is executing. This is the controller, and we are having REST controller itself that we can do at the time of Spring Boot, and we are having like service annotation. Now let me run this test class once. all these stereotypes main intent is to make the classes as a beans, but at different layers we will use different types of annotations. Okay, at repository, and this is the repository level. Let me run the test class one more time. Yeah, things are fine. Okay, now what is happening here, we'll create two objects and then we'll see whether these are singletons or not. Okay, and before navigating to that, as I am using application context, right? Yeah, so here we are using the application context, right? Means without, if we are not asking any car object, okay, then I'll just run this example. The constructor will be called car constructor, means the car object is trying to made available at the time of IOC container initialization itself, means it's a eager loading. So if I want to make this as lazy loading, right, means whenever when I ask, that time only it has to create the object. So we are having lazy annotation. If you see the lazy, right, this lazy annotation is coming from the context colon component lazy, but here we no need to specify the component scan as context hyphen annotation config, because this component scan is extended from the annotation config. So if we provided this context, this annotation will work. Not only this, and at the rate required, at the rate auto wire, at the rate qualifier, all these annotations also works. Okay, let me run this now. Now I made the lazy, that b. If you see, we are not getting any information, means at the time of creation of the application context, the car object is not created. That is the use of lazy. And the another annotations scope. Yeah, suppose, let me remove this lazy. Yeah, if I am having two car objects, okay, assume if we create one more car object, this is reference 1 and this is reference 2, and car1 dot drive. Let me check the references. Okay, this is out, car1 is equal to car2. This will give the boolean value. Okay, now let me run this one. Yeah, car1 is equal to car2, true, it is printing. This means even though if I created two cars, but these two cars referring to the same bean, car bean, single bean, so my references are equal, so it is returning true. Now if I want to make these cars as, instead of singleton beans, I want to make this as prototype beans. In that case, what we need to use, we need to go for the scope annotation, scope, and we need to provide the scope. Okay, prototype scope. Now let me execute the test class one more time. Run as Java application. Yeah, if you see now my car1 car2 both are different because the scope we modified at the bean level. These are the some basic annotations. Thank you. I'm stopping here, and before stopping we'll see this is at runtime and the target will be type and the method. Scope name alias for the scope annotation is at runtime and the target where can we apply means element type and the element method. Okay, we'll see this part later. Thank you. I'm stopping the recording.